Everybody, on to the other big story this week. Of course, so much focus on President Trump. Well, the Supreme Court will not be stepping into the case involving the FBI's raid on former President Trump's Florida home. Trump had made an emergency appeal to the high court in an attempt to bring back the special master to view all documents seized by the FBI from his Mar-a-Lago home. That was back in August. Here to discuss this and, of course, the results of the January 6th committee hearing this week, former acting U.S. Attorney General, there he is, Matthew Whitaker. Matt, it is great to have you here. Let me just first ask your reaction to the Supreme Court saying it's not going to step in. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, good morning, Rita. I think it was a long shot to think that the Supreme Court was going to jump in this early in a case. And remember, the issue that was being appealed was the 100 allegedly classified documents and whether or not the special master could have those or not have those. I think that, that type of procedural minutia is not something that I think the Supreme Court wants to weigh in on. And, they obviously have a lot of discretion on types of cases they take on. I think they like things a little more fully formed or completed, at the trial level. And so I think this case will ultimately go to the Supreme Court. I think there's a lot of important issues. But I think the Supreme Court's going to obviously let the litigation occur and a case, sort of ultimately be a little more baked, if you will, before they weigh in.
By the way, 1,000%, I agree too, Matt, because I think at some point it is going to end up there, I think, in the highest court in some shape or form. I want to go to the January 6th committee. So many headlines from there this week. In fact, the committee voting, as you know, to issue a subpoena to President Donald Trump to deliver his personal testimony, also for documents too as well. The partisan panel argued that the former president had a premeditated plan to overturn the 2020 election. I want to have you listen to this and then get you to react.
We are obligated to seek answers directly from the man who set this all in motion. And every American is entitled to those answers, so we can act now to protect our republic.
What's your reaction first to that, Matt, when you hear, and especially coming from Liz Cheney, who, they keep saying, well, it's a bipartisan committee, but, she clearly has no love lost for the president, nor does Adam Kinzinger, both of them. How do you think this is going to bode?
You have 7 Trump haters that are angry that they're going to lose their power and their ability to do this one-sided partisan procedure. And, obviously, Rita, this is not the way the founding fathers designed our system. They never expected that one side and two, partisan Trump haters would lie to use the full weight of congressional subpoena to go after a former president of the United States. I mean, there's a reason that no one cares about this committee anymore. And it's not just Republicans, it's on both sides. No one is interested because they see exactly where this, train is going. And it's not seeking truth. It's not trying to actually fix some of the challenges that we faced on January 6th. For example, the security of the Capitol building. This is just trying to punish one man to try to make him unelectable as we head into 2024. And the mistake they're making is that the longer they go on and the more they try to go after Trump, the more powerful and popular he becomes. And it's just, I'm sure it was an unintended consequence, but, this panel has obviously completely failed in any objective that they are trying to do.
And Matt, Trump, of course, responded on Truth Social and saying basically in part, why didn't the unselect committee ask me to testify months ago? Why did they wait until the very end, the final moments of their last meeting? Also, sources close to Trump saying, on one hand, he's saying, maybe I will testify or put it out there, but it would have to be live. It would have to be unedited. What are your thoughts? Do you think he'll ever end up testifying? And do you think they'd ever agree to his terms?
Yeah. So I was with the president Thursday night at Mar-a-Lago and had a chance to chat with him about this topic. Obviously, he believes, and he should believe, that he has nothing to hide in this regard, that he'd be, happy to take on answering their questions, but knowing that this committee is probably not the proper forum to have that discussion. I mean, again, you have just people that, I've been in front of a similar committee when I was Attorney General, and, you see kind of just how, horrible Congress operates in these moments. But, Donald Trump is unafraid of the January 6th committee, and again, I think all of the facts are known as it relates to January 6th. Obviously, there's been so much ink spilled and film burned to tell the story. I'm not sure that ultimately Donald Trump's testimony would do anything other than cause a complete circus environment at the Congress. And, to some extent, that's what these people want, is because they are very comfortable in a circus.
And it would certainly be must-see television if he ever were to do that, believe me.
No doubt about that.
No doubt about it. Matt Whitaker, thank you very much. Really interesting. Great to have you here, Matt.
Good to see you again, Rita.
Thank you. Always great to have you.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the
truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They
Let me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
For real people.